Hi everyone, Cohh here with another Thoughts video, this time for Anthem. Now, this has been an interesting ride. Anthem has, I just finished the main story. I'm going to be working on some side content. Now, the first thing I want to say is that Anthem has had a very bumpy start. This game released a demo, which was essentially a beta with how much that needed to be fixed. It then went into a week-long early access without its day one patch. The day one patch came in and made a lot of improvements, but it still has a long way to go. And here we are on the second day of official release. The day one patch is in. And, well, what is Anthem? So, let's start at the beginning. I'm trying to decide what order I want to do this in. This is a sticky one. Let's start with this. Anthem is currently on sale for $60. That price is, in my opinion, a little much for what you're getting. Anthem is a live service program, and as such, you will be getting more content for it nearly monthly for potentially years to come. Now, what that means is that if you buy the game right now, you're basically getting like a prologue chapter 1 experience of a much longer tale. And unfortunately, it kind of feels that way, which makes it very hard to recommend for $60. However, what I'm going to say, and I'm going to go into this more in a minute, although I don't recommend the game at $60, there is an Origin Premier service available where you can get it and play it for essentially a month for $15, and that may be a lot more people's speed. But anyway, before we talk about that, let's talk about the game. So, Anthem. I'm enjoying Anthem. I'm actually having a good time playing it. The world is gorgeous, and I really like flying around it. The flying mechanics have been improved pretty dramatically from the demo. The controls on the PC are a lot better. I like the gunplay. I like the javelins. I'm a big fan of the customization system. I like how all the items have the kind of sub-stats that adds a little bit more to the RNG pickup outside of just like generic container guns. The skills and classes are pretty fun. I've really enjoyed not necessarily the dialogue and writing, but how the animators and voice actors brought it to life. The characters feel very real in this game. The animations sync up very well. The voice actors look comfortable in their virtual skins as they're putting on their performance. I very much like the way in which the story is told, but I will say that in comparison to especially some older BioWare games, it's pretty clear that the writing has suffered a bit. I can safely say now that I've finished the game that the pacing and the actual writing are definitely not up to the standard of how I feel normal BioWare games are. However, again, I'm talking about the BioWare from like a decade ago, and we all know that's kind of changed over time. However, I do want to point out, though, that even though I don't feel that the kind of the dialogue and the kind of story parts of the dialogue are really, really good, the delivery of them are completely top-notch. Like, AAA, no question. Love the facial animations, love the banter. The presentation is really something pretty good. In terms of the game itself, the thing that I want to say about this game, everything boils down to one word, and I feel like a lot of the reviews going around kind of hint on this, and unfortunately, I feel like a lot of the reviews not only hint on what I'm about to say, but push it into negative territory, saying they don't like the game because of this, and I'm actually on the opposite end of that. Let me explain that a little bit. What this game needs is more. It needs more everything. More story. More quests. More more variety in what you do during those quests. More of an end game. More skills to choose from per javelin. More, like, it just needs more of everything. More sounds in the city. More attention to the UI and details. It just needs more of everything. Now, unfortunately, when I look around to other streamers and reviewers, the progression of what I just said normally leads into, this game needs more, so it's terrible and you shouldn't buy it. That's what I see everywhere. The end game isn't good. The main story is short. There's not enough javelins. There's not enough customization. I want more of all these. The game's terrible. It's not worth your time. But here's what I'm going to tell you. I just finished the main story and spent about 12 to 15 hours in this game. Yes, it absolutely needs more of those things. Absolutely. But what's here is really not that bad, especially considering you can get it for $15. I had a good time playing. I'm still enjoying playing. I got to play with all my buddies. I had a great time playing with subs. I loved the final boss encounter was really cool. A lot of the cutscenes were great. I was laughing. There was even an NPC that made me like legit pretty sad after talking to her. You know, there's a lot of great stuff in this game, and more importantly, it's a really solid foundation. So what we did this morning during the stream is I actually looked at the roadmap coming up for Anthem, and there's a lot of really good stuff coming in. In fact, there's so much good stuff coming in by the end of April particularly that I will be baffled and very impressed if they get it all into the game on time. They do make it very clear that Anthem is a living product, which does one of two things. First of all, it's kind of a pass on through their eyes of not delivering as much content right now, which of course, especially the people that paid $60 are going to say, we don't really like that. So yeah, call it a living product, but that's not really cool. But the second thing it does is this puts all of the onus on the developers at the beginning. So when they establish this as not really a game, but a service, that is them making a promise to us saying, we are going to continue to develop and deliver on this game. Now, unfortunately, there's no way I can say that's actually going to happen. There's no way I think the people working there can actually say it's going to happen. But if it does, and if they do keep developing this game, and if they actually stick to their roadmap and actually deliver all the things that they're talking about, this game could be really, really cool one day. Like, there was stuff that happened at the end of the main story that legit got me kind of hyped for more. It really did feel like the end of the main story. Again, without too many spoilers, it did feel like this was like a prologue or a chapter 1. It didn't feel like a game in itself. It felt like a teaser for something bigger. And I really, really hope that we get to see whatever that was. Now, unfortunately, the dark side of this is they also made a lot of these promises with a game called Mass Effect Andromeda. In fact, the same company. And when the game released and had a lot of negative reviews, you know what they did? They scrapped those plans. And we never saw any of the DLC for Andromeda that we were told we were going to get. Now, granted, it's a different situation because, you know, Andromeda was never pitched as a live service, but that's the difference in Anthem. It is being pitched as a service. So there is no way that they can just kind of like stop developing Anthem, because at that point they missold their product. They labeled their product as something it wasn't, and that's going to probably get them in more trouble than anything else they would do with this. So it's a very interesting situation with Anthem. And what I get all the time is, Cohh, do you recommend this game? So I'm going to end this video with this little bit here. I don't recommend this game for $60 unless you have become a mega fan of it, which many people have. There are people that want to do all the Grandmaster 2 leveling. They absolutely love the world. They love the gameplay. There's a group, a pretty large group of people that are actually really enjoying their Anthem experience, and $60 for them is a no-brainer because they've probably already spent 60 hours in it already. So that's easy. However, I feel the game right now in its current state is much more worth the $15 you have to spend for Origin Premier. I feel that I can really only recommend it for $15 for people who are actually interested in the story. Like, if you're the kind of person who just wants to play this game for the gameplay and you're going to be skipping all the cutscenes and trying to skip the dialogue as fast as you can, I don't even know if this is going to be worth $15 for you unless you can really get plugged in with the endgame farming, which again, full disclosure, is basically just doing the same thing over and over again for items. There's not, in the game right now, much progression in terms of an endgame. It's just kind of like, here's a few difficulty levels, here's a few gotchas, now go do it all 100 times over. Kind of like Destiny 1, which again, some people loved, that was okay, but that's kind of a smaller subsect of gamers. Not all gamers want to do that kind of stuff. So it's important to keep that in mind. So anyway, I think that's about where we're going to end here. Again, don't really recommend the game right now for $60, but I really hope the game gets to a point where it's worth $60. I think it's going to at least be a few months to a half year to maybe even a year till it has enough content in it to really be worth that $60 price tag. But again, I think for people like me that can kind of like focus on the good parts and kind of just lay back and enjoy the game and not be too nitpicky about all the things it doesn't have, I definitely think this game is worth $15. I do. And I know you're not hearing that a lot. I know the cool thing right now is to just say avoid Anthem like the plague, but I had a good time in it, man. I mean, if you don't believe me, go back and watch everything I've done in it. I was enjoying it the whole time. And I think that there's a lot of enjoyable stuff in here for a lot of different people too. So best advice I can give, go look through my videos. If you have any questions, stop by the channel and ask. Hopefully some of the stuff in this video helped make your decision. But at the end of the day, this is your decision. And good luck making it with all the available info out there. This has been another Thoughts video. Thank you so much for watching. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop by in the channel. And see you next video.